We're in trouble in America. We're losing our moral bearings. We're losing our respect for the rule of law. And you look around America today and things are bad and they're getting worse. We're broke. We're dispirited. We're scared. We've been moving closer and closer to socialism, further away from God, the Constitution, doing what's right in our own eyes, and all the while not noticing that it's killing us. It's killing our nation.
Just beginning.
Americans tend to be too comfortable, slowly but surely turning their backs on the sacrifices their forefathers made for liberty. Why is that? As bad as it is, as horrible as it seems, as unlikely as it appears that we can escape, what we're going through can actually be a vitally necessary experience for us, and one that is ultimately very healthy and liberating for this country. The truth needs to be told in all the dark places, because it's the truth that sets us free.
WorldNet Daily is live. It's November 25, 2024. Matt Edwards here. Where are we headed? There's a limited window of opportunity that the global elites, the cabal, if you will, are using in what is going on with Ukraine and Russia. And this goes further back in time, folks. We've got a lot to uncover today. We got a lot to catch up on, especially as news breaks that Biden and the administration is considering giving back nuclear weapons to Ukraine. Ukraine, of course, part of Soviet Russia, and where Soviet Russia had its largest arsenal of nuclear weapons inside Ukraine that they controlled. But when the Soviet Union collapsed, those there's a lot the nuclear weapons, if you will, were somehow dismantled or sent away. And Josh, Josh is here, of course. We're going to try to dive into this and make some sense of it, because it's rapidly changing. And as I said, the cabal only has a limited window before Donald Trump takes over in January 20.
Yeah, Matt. Good morning, everybody. Gosh, like this Monday leading into Thanksgiving, there's a rapid movement happening. It's super alarming. Our title of our show today is where are we headed? It's kind of a contrast, Matt. We talked about, like, there's this moment that America feels amazing. It feels like the energy's up. It's a vibe, as the kids say. And at the same time, potential nuclear war or some kind of serious escalation in Europe. We're going to get into all of that today. And I don't know, like, you ever just get the feeling you need to go buy everything at Costco? I don't want to be alarmist, but kind of feel that way a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's a weather event, or World War III, we're always headed to Costco. I think they're the ones that make the best out of all of this. That being said, there are NATO officials that have been calling upon business leaders to prepare for wartime scenario.
Yeah.
This is a top NATO official here, and when you think about what do business leaders do to prepare for wartime. I'm at a bit of a loss.
It's a little
here
confusing.
because what what is that? Here is Admiral. Was that the same Admiral Rob Barr we have in this clip here, or is this a different guy?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So watch what he says here at this leadership forum that happened recently.
Business leaders in Europe and America need to realize that the commercial decisions they make have strategic consequences for the security of their nation. Businesses need to be prepared for a wartime scenario and adjust their production and distribution lines accordingly. Because while it may be the military who wins battles, it's the economies that win wars. And that brings me to a key issue I want to discuss with you today: defense production capacity.
Yeah, and that's what we're really talking about, is like, where are these companies that create things that are used in war or they're used to support a war effort? Where are they going to fall in line, especially in a global economy? When I think of companies like Google and Amazon and creators like Apple and Boeing, I mean, I just, you know, are they just going to create things for both sides of a of a global war?
Well, maybe something, Matt, to think about is like, it's good to step back and imagine what's actually going on here. This is NATO. So Europe is only unified in a military in NATO. The European Union doesn't have an army. This represents the European army. And he's saying, hey,
funded by America.
Funded by America largely, right? He's saying we need to be on war footing. These videos, like old film reels before World War II, or as World War II started and, Germany invaded Poland, there were things like this where they would say, I call on industry to, help fight the war effort. Why is this happening right now? The only escalation has been by the forces in Ukraine to escalate using US weapons, and now Russia's retaliation. This is a blind march towards war. And I think that, like, it's time to, like, over Sunday and Saturday, football's trending on X. Guys, it's an American thing. We get it. But, like, that's not important right now. Like, we're sleepwalking into, like, some kind of serious war. Americans are the only people that can stop this.
Yeah. I mean, and I would say, the sort of restraint that we're seeing on an escalation level from Russia when they launched that IRBM or IVBM. I forget the acronym for it, but it wasn't an ICBM quite yet.
Yeah,
it was a
still a medium range weapon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And but it wasn't armed, or at least it didn't have nuclear warheads on it. But they sent it off, and they showed that we're willing to do this. And again, this all goes back to that red line. And we'll get into some of this, but I know Jeffrey Sachs, a longtime foreign relations guy for the U.S., has talked about this. Is that the red line is NATO up against the border with Russia, and that is something that when we start to look at the Biden's sort of rhetoric, saying that all of this simply started in 2021 or 2022 when Russia did an unprovoked attack on Ukraine. It's absurd. It's absurd.
No, not at all true.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, we have this this new information, or should we do this other clip here first? Let's
do the British and French troops first.
Yeah, let's look at
that. Kind of backs up what we've been talking about with NATO.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's watch this.
But it's smarter not only to do that, but also to attack the archer that is in Russia if Russia attacks us. So you need to have a combination of deep precision strike with which you can take out the weapon systems that are used to attack us. And of course, because we're a defensive alliance, we will have to take the first blow. So Russia will start the conflict, because we are not going to attack Russia out of nothing. We will need more air defense. That's one of the lessons from Ukraine. And at the same time, we are going to invest in the deep precision strike.
So there they are, admittedly saying we're just waiting. We're just waiting to be attacked.
Yeah. So what he doesn't say there is they've greenlit Ukraine to do the attacking. So I mean, but this is so obvious to everyone, including the Russians, that. So they're waiting for an attack, it sounds like, right? So but then we therefore know that they will do everything they can to provoke the attack, which it looks like they've succeeded in that, at least initially, with the Russians responding with the IRBM. But Matt, also, here come the British and the French. This is lunacy, saying that they may put troops in Ukraine.
Yeah, here it is.
It's just nuts.
Yeah, here it is here.
Yeah, this tweet from Cillian.
Yeah, breaking. Plans to deploy British and French troops to the front lines of Ukraine are at an advanced stage, according to French newspaper Le Monde. So yeah, are they? And that there's the question: Are they trying to start World War III before Trump becomes president again? And I mean, there's nothing to indicate otherwise right now. Discussions over sending European troops to Ukraine reignited. That's the article over there. I mean, it's when you are moving this quickly.
Yeah.
Considering that this war has been going on since are we heading it into our
22?
Yeah, I mean over 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's
no longer, because we're at 1,000 days last week. So
right, yeah, 3 years. Headed into the third year, and now's the time. Right now, right before Trump takes office. It reminds me of the time when Trump was headed to re-election in 2020, and right now is when we had a COVID lab week.
Time for COVID.
Yeah,
summer of love.
Exactly.
Something's definitely like moving forward. That's what we need to look for, everybody, is kind of like, if this is a graph, the graph starts to incline, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts to incline as things ratchet up. You could say tension over time. It goes up one. And that has not stopped. And remember, they only have the window. We'll have a clip here later. Stay with us. We have a clip in the stream with General Flynn was just over on Alex Jones's show, and he kind of lays out his scenarios. These aren't crazy anymore. And so we just did the headline of the discussion of European sending troops. Oh yeah, let's pop that up so we can see that. I think we already do that? Oh yeah, we did. Okay, so then now Germany, Matt, is telling its population where the bunkers are that they probably have to go into. And we don't have it in the stream today, but saw an article over the weekend that 800,000 troops are being mobilized in Germany. I'm kind of speechless, believe it or not, man. It's nuts.
Well, again, and remember what we're reading here, right? Like these are all media reports. We know now that the deep state actors, they seed the narrative by controlling these mainstream media outlets, right? And so and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like if you tell the people of your country that, hey, we're getting the bunkers ready, then what do people do? They get ready, and then you report that everybody's getting ready. It's that circular. It just self-serves. It just self-serves it all.
It's wag the dog, basically, right?
Exactly.
Like that's the idea. Great movie, Wag the Dog, everybody.
Yeah, and we're living in it. I mean, we are fleas on the back of this dog right now, and it's we're holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I wanted to get to we went through a couple of these things, but this clip that this news service put together that is reporting that the New York Times suggests returning nukes to Ukraine that we took or something. I mean, we have to dive into this for a second. So let's watch what this compilation here.
Yeah, so that basically kind of gives a quick timeline, but we can break that down as well.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to make sure the idea that Biden can somehow return nuclear weapons to Ukraine is a bit odd here, because
Yeah,
like we mentioned at the top of the show here, Ukraine was part of Soviet Russia, and in that it had the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons. And during the fall of the Soviet Union and during all of the treaties that were signed, there was the Budapest Memorandum and all of the things that went along between the West and Russia in terms of turning, de-nuclear, whatever the term is, de-escalating, decommissioning all of the, the nuclear warheads that they would, Soviet Union owned the missiles, but they were in Ukraine. They owned the codes that could launch the missiles, but they didn't have actual possession of it at the time because Ukraine became a sovereign nation at that moment, right? So What happened to the weapons? And we were all under the assumption that they either went back to Russia or they were dismantled, and destroyed. Yeah. And so now we have some to return.
Yeah. So let's pop up that image of the New York Times quote real quick. I want to show that. So this is so weird, right? This is from this New York Times article. Several officials have suggested that Mr. Biden could return nuclear weapons to Ukraine that were taken from it after the fall of the Soviet Union. Now, and then the rest is that would be an instant or enormous deterrent, but such a step would be complicated and have serious implications. No kidding.
Yes.
But, put that up real quick, Alex. I want to see one last thing here. So this is the weird statement here, guys. Mr. Biden could return nuclear weapons to Ukraine that were taken from it after the fall of the Soviet Union. So what is this saying? Because it's a little fishy. It's saying they're going to return the Ukrainian Soviet weapons back. Who's going to return them?
Right.
Well, I can't help but feel like it's suggesting one of two things. It's suggesting that somehow the Soviets don't have the Ukrainian weapons and maybe Biden can return them. That would sound like we have them. That's a pretty big story if that's true. That was not known to people maybe outside. Normal people don't know, but it's totally possible that America could have, as they're dismantling. America likes to, have our enemies. We kind of have a copy of all of their best stuff that we go and buy, usually from some third market. This would be the scenario. Their most important weapon, nuclear weapons. Oopsie, we took them. It's very, very possible that we could have done that. The other thing is that we would give them American. This is the only other option, that we'd give them American nuclear weapons, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm kind of getting tired of saying insane, right? Like,
yeah. Well, it is
saying that like every time.
But just and again, I'm not a Putin apologist. I don't even feel the need to qualify that by saying what I'm about to say. But imagine you're the head of your country, and all of a sudden one of your longtime adversaries, who you're in the middle of defending against or in a war with by proxy through Ukraine, is now saying they're gonna put nuclear weapons on the border. I mean, what other purpose is that in order to instigate, because I would have to say, well, we're going to stop that, right? We're not going to allow that to happen. If I'm an American, I would not allow my government to sit idly by as nuclear weapons were put along the Rio Grande. Chinese nuclear weapons along the Rio Grande, just because Mexico feels that maybe someday the U.S. might take over Mexico.
Yeah. We would never put up with it. Just looking at this comment from Estelle, Deuce Bigelow might want to rethink his exit strategy when Trump gets in office. I doubt the free flow of money will continue anymore. But see, it feels like. And we'll see what General Flynn has to say here in his clip. But, Matt, it really does feel like, okay, so Washington is kind of quiet, right? The swamp's kind of quiet, seemingly, that they're going to all be out of power. I don't think we like realize how catastrophic that would be for the swamp, right? Everybody that lives there in the area, that they're all lefties. What can they do? One thing trumps all things: war. War makes everything, takes all focus toward existential issues. And man, this is just what it looks like, right? It absolutely looks like they're going to push us into some kind of war to either halt or most likely, let's think about it. Trump can't fire everybody in the Pentagon if it's in the midst of the war. He can't do it. He can't even hardly move the deck chairs in the intel agencies if we're in war. I mean, and a clear thinking person would understand that, right? So, gosh, isn't that what they're going to do?
Yeah. And to give a clear, we have an image here we just pulled that clearly states, for those who need to understand the vastness of this. 1991, Ukraine independence, right? 1,700 Soviet nuclear weapons were left in its territory. Ukraine never possessed operational control of the weapons, and they were apparently all removed to Russia under a 1994 agreement in exchange for security assurances. This was part of those agreements that said, Russia, we won't invade Ukraine. We will respect the borders and we won't go across there. And then NATO and the allies on that side said, we will not expand our territory. We will keep everything just as is, but let's remove the nuclear weapons and the threat. And so here you have it, 1,700 nuclear weapons removed, taken back to Russia. And now Biden is like, hey, we're going to return you the nukes. So, I mean, yeah, this is a major, and again, we don't have Biden saying this on tape. We just have a report. It's coming out of the New York Times. Biden may not even have had this conversation at this point. Am I supposed to just believe sources from the New York Times? Is the New York Times trying to escalate the war? I mean, all of these questions are valid. I no longer can sit back and just think like, well, that was a bizarre thought. Maybe I shouldn't share that the New York Times is making something up.
Yeah, and these people, Matt, they measure every word.
Yes, of course.
Every word.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't help but like get stuck on that sentence. That sentence really bothers me.
Yeah.
What the hell are they talking about?
It should. All right. Well, we have that clip ready from General Flynn. Apparently, this was just right before we were going on the air. General Flynn was asked this question. What is he responding to, or do we have the context?
So he's on Alex Jones's show. Alex has said, everybody take this clip, share it. But he's live on Alex Jones, and he's giving his scenarios. And here he's going to tell us, scenarios where he still thinks assassination is on the menu as far as what violence. But now he's leaning towards the taking Biden out of the scene somehow. We'll let him explain it here through the clip. Stay with us and watch this, please.
Here. And Alex, you've used the phrase sleepwalking toward war. We are sleepwalking toward World War III. So I think that one of the things that they're contemplating is taking Biden out. That then puts Harris in, and whoever they make the vice president, and they can choose anybody. Kamala Harris, at that point in time, she can appoint anybody in the country to be the vice president. Then I think what they're going to do is they're going to contemplate their additional sort of subset scenarios, okay? And what are they? What might they be? Well, one might be a declaration of martial law. Another might be a implementation of a national security emergency order. And I can tell you that I wrote about this quite a while ago, probably 4 or 5 months ago. There are 43 of them. And I put this out on, I wrote an article. It was the second of a two-part article called "Their Plans for Us." You can find it at generalflynn.com, and the subtitle is "A State of Emergency." There are 43 states. There are 43 national emergency orders that can be implemented by the President of the United States. And not all of them deal with what we're talking about here specifically, but many of them deal with overseas scenarios, things that might happen if this, then that. And these are things that the President of the United States, many of these actually go back to the 60s, and they're still on the books. If one of them is initiated, it kicks in about 150 different laws. It sort of opens up the door, if you will. It opens up, another Pandora's box, if you will. So we have this situation where if this happens, so again, this is a scenario. It is not an unlikely scenario. People will, they'll say all kinds of crazy things. But so what I'm saying is that if they want to continue down this path, and I firmly believe that they want to continue down this path to draw us into a much greater World War III. We're already in the throes of it. We've seen all the back and forth these last couple of weeks. The only people that are really covering it, honestly, and covering it is right here, Alex Jones. And there have been a few others out there, but I think, I flipped around the last couple of days, and I got up early this morning to just kind of complete my research, and I'm going through all the different I call them the opposition networks, the enemy networks, right? I mean, all the big, ABC, CBS, NBC, went through MSNBC, CNN, Fox, and a couple others to see what they were talking about. None of them are even talking about any of this stuff. I mean, this is such a dangerous situation that we are involved in. The other thing that I started to look at.
Well, on that final note, we are definitely covering it. We've been covering it the last few episodes of WorldNet Daily here. So please be sure to continue going to worldnetdaily.com and sharing the articles and sharing these clips and the episodes. Josh, pretty powerful stuff there. I mean, it really is incredible the amount of well, I guess just sort of when you think about we keep talking about the escalation that's going on, and then the silence that is surrounding the I mean, you mentioned over the weekend football, number one story. I mean, there was some great games on and everything like that.
I know.
But at the same time, we're having this march towards war, a literal march. France and the UK going to send troops. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's insane. It's insane.
We know a lot of young people. Young people are like, look, I'm over this. That's why there's waning support for even stuff in Israel. Young people just don't care. It is the America First mentality. But what I like to tell them as often as I can, that this stuff, you can't escape it at this level. It will affect all of us. We can't just be isolationist. They won't let us be isolationist, Matt. They're gonna drag us in, and it's terrible, but it's true.
Yeah.
So,
well, like we said, you follow us on WorldNet Daily for more on this stuff. Also on Instagram. I mean, if you're watching us on Instagram, you follow us on Instagram. We have a highlight reel called War, where we're putting all of these clips and all of these things in there. So be sure to, if you're an Instagram aficionado, you know what I just said. I have no idea what I just said, but apparently there's something called a highlight that you can do on Instagram, and we're highlighting war, apparently. So, but it covers all this, and you need to watch it.
I mean, that's the most. This is the story. Everything else is a distraction.
It is.
So,
yeah. I mean, even when we think about all the Trump picks that have been going on, the first couple of weeks, Matt Gaetz and Pete Hegseth and all that, and now we've got some bizarre picks that have come out the last few days. But I just think we need to. Those are similarly distractions from this narrative that's going on, that they're pushing us towards war, because either we are headed there, or they are trying to manufacture us to get to that point.
Dude, there's going to be no Pete Hegseth anywhere near anything if this thing kicks off. They'll just drag their feet.
Yeah.
They can't. They don't even need to. They can't approve of him. They won't be able to gather the senators and the congressmen. They won't be able to do it. Because it'll be dangerous. I mean, that's really, man, I'm just praying this is all in my imagination.
Yeah, I hope so.
Good grief.
I hope so. And then, of course, we haven't even touched upon it. Maybe we will in a, you know, as this sort of unfolds, the idea that Biden needs to go and we need to have Kamala Harris for the next month and a half. I mean, I don't know what that means. I don't know if she would do anything different. Again, we don't know because Biden's not talking. He's walking off into the jungle with very few words, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
It's
so with that, we need to make sure that whether you're frustrated or not, that can cause inflammation, especially during cold and
what
flu
a segue,
season.
Matt. Wow. That's good, man. I had no idea how you're going to do that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
No, there it is, man. There it is. You get the Z-Night, you get the Z-Man's protocol. That's it, the Z-Stack protocol there. This is the Zelenko protocol. This will keep and protect your family and have your immune system prepped and ready. Dr. Zelenko here. He's the man that put all this stuff together. He offers immune-boosting supplements like zinc and quercetin to naturally defend against sickness. You're not treating the symptoms afterwards. You're not taking a shot of NyQuil and just trying to sleep through it. This is actually going to work with your body, work naturally within your body to fight off the inflammation that's going on. Again, I'm not a doctor. Josh isn't a doctor. Consult your physician. Yeah, consult your physician and head over to the website. The link is in the description. Use WND for 5% off. Scan the QR code and then show me a picture of how you scanned your QR code. We want proof that you're scanning the QR code to head over to the Zelenko protocol and get yours today. All right, Josh.
Matt, do you think they'll have an anti-radiation formulation soon for Zelenko?
Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah, we might need to have that.
Potassium iodide.
Yeah, exactly. Potassium iodide.
Dude. What's he say? Is there a Z gas mask?
A Z gas mask. Yes.
For real. Yeah. And then you know, Timmy loves Boston, or Tiny loves Boston. You'd need like a filter on that too, you know?
Yeah. Well, man, one of our other affiliates here, Uncharted Supply Company, they may have.
We're gonna ask Uncharted if they have potassium iodide, dude.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Boston's. Head over to Uncharted. We'll do two of them, right? Uncharted Supply Company. Hit the QR code, and then look for. There's a lot of cool items in there. This will get you through 72 hours. 72 hours in a survival situation, which is pretty much most survival situations are rectified within 72 hours, at least on a personal level. You can find help within 72 hours, but if you don't, you're going to need to have that kit to get you through that. So head over to Uncharted Supply. All right.
I think, Matt, we're going to need to ask Uncharted if they have a radiological kit. Man,
you got a lot to talk to them about.
Guys, if you think I'm crazy, just go ahead and comment crazy, okay? Because I feel a little crazy today, Matt. But like headline after headline, and I'm like, the media it always has a plan. And if you just go to Drudge, you'll see that's where they platform their plan. But Drudge has the same headlines. And maybe they think like, I don't know how it works. How would it work to scare us out of it? I don't really know, because the European nations are going headlong into this. So
yeah,
I'm not sure.
And they've been compromised for a long time. I mean, I'm convinced of that. I mean, it's very. I mean, I don't know what the Brexit thing was, but that was an anomaly, in Europe for
nothing happened though, Matt.
It's true. I mean, but at least they have it on paper for whoever comes in and wants to take charge of their own destiny in the UK. But that's why this next clip here is so interesting and just tantalizing is the idea that Comcast wants to get rid of MSNBC, wants to throw a bunch of its products onto the market and see what they can get. So let's follow how this tweet thread came out. So Wall Street Mav here said Comcast is putting up MSNBC for sale. Donald Trump Jr. reposts that and says, "Hey, Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever." And then Elon chimes in, "How much does it cost?" which of course is what led to his purchase of X in a very similar fashion. And so, Elon here says, "I have a crazy idea, but it just might work," as he reposts the Babylon Bee announcing that Musk announces his plan to buy MSNBC and to turn it into a real news network.
I mean, Matt, this is the contrast, right? This contrast that we have going on is just so weird. We're at this very moment, like we have America feels amazing and the opportunities that we are going to, even taking over the mainstream media, like a mouthpiece, like MSNBC, phenomenal, like so crazy, right? Wow. What an amazing moment. And at the same time, man,
because you kind of wonder about stuff. The thought just occurred to me, like, why would you want to take over an MSNBC or a CNN? And I think the idea is that there's one side that looks at it and says you don't need to, because we have places where independent journalism is thriving. And I say independent in the sense that it hasn't been like elitist approved, right? I mean, that's pretty much where we're at now. I mean, when you have Joe Rogan has an interview on that has like 50 million views, he's more powerful than Barbara Walters ever was. Right. I mean, Barbara Walters used to get 30 million on her interviews after the Super Bowl or whatever it was, so to think, but I think the key here is that CNN, MSNBC, like they're an institution, ABC News, like they're an institution within our culture that remain, like the name remains, the institution remains. And if you take out the pieces that control the information and you insert truth tellers, then people all of a sudden who are used to watching MSNBC turn it on, and then they start seeing new people. They start seeing a new brand of people, and then that helps expose what's really going on. And so I don't know, it's something that's percolating in my brain that maybe we need deeper thought on. But there is an advantage to taking over a brand like that already has seeded into the cultural and zeitgeist of our mindset. So just imagine
all the Subaru drivers you could reach by taking over MSNBC and actually having real news. It would be incredible, right? Like maybe that, the folks that are easily indoctrinated that watch those channels. I hope you don't watch those channels, folks. If you're watching us right now, they might actually get real news. So there is a value to it. You were going to read this tweet.
Yeah. But real point to your point about like the Subaru, like when you buy a new car, nowadays they give you like a subscription to Sirius XM for free for like 6 months, right? And it has all when you're talking about news, it has all the news channels on it, right? And it's got, you can listen to CNN, you can listen to Fox News, right? It doesn't have WorldNet Daily on there. It doesn't have Alex Jones on there. It doesn't have Real America's Voice or the Charlie Kirk Show, whatever those other networks, RSBN, all those other networks that have percolated up through the last 5-6 years. It doesn't have that on Sirius M, but it does have CNN, and that's what I'm talking about. If you take over CNN and you put on Real Voices, that puts Sirius we're just gonna remove CNN from the car now, and then that wakes up another subset of people. So if we can get into people's Subarus, that's and now they're thinking about getting rid of the AM. They're thinking of getting rid of AM radio. They've been talking about that for a long time.
AM radio has been a conservative stronghold forever.
Right. Yeah. And it's in everybody's car. Right. So if they stop manufacturing cars with AM radios, then that's another way to get at it. Okay. Well, this tweet has been sitting up here for a while. Joe Rogan says, if you buy MSNBC, I would like Rachel Maddow's job. I'll even wear the same outfit and glasses and I'll tell the same lies. Trump Jr., of course, saying it has to happen. Maybe I should show up there with a sink, says Elon Musk.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's freaking great.
And then Carrie Lake says, I'll go back on. Give me Anderson Cooper's old job or Joy Reid's, I think that's maybe where Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake might need a job, actually.
Yeah. She just can't seem to get over the electoral hump there. Okay, great. Well, Josh, do you have your rifle with you? You don't.
It's down in the bunker. You know,
Oh, good,
everything went
good.
into
Well,
the
that's good.
bunker.
I actually was getting worried that you kept having it out. You know,
Just on the desk, just ready to go.
Yeah.
But
I bought more things from them. over
you
the
did
weekend.
good. Yeah, we're gonna show more stuff.
I bought more things from them.
Yeah,
But do we have the graphic here of the
let's
Kung
put
Fu
that up.
grip? Look
There
at
you
that bit. Look at that beautiful thing. Look at those. All those colors. So what do you call that? You call that black, steel gray, tan,
This is-
and army green or something? I
yeah,
don't know.
coyote. That's the official coyote color. There's like a lighter black,
Yeah.
and then Ranger green. I think is what it
Ranger
is.
green. I
Yeah.
like Ranger green. Yeah. I want my whole rifle to be Ranger green. And then I can just put the black on it.
Oh, I
Like
dig
the
it.
black
Yeah.
furniture,
If you
right?
do that, we need to see it. You know, we're gonna need to see it.
All right, I'll start a new kit over the holidays. Daifrico, this is the Kung Fu grip. It's a 12-degree angle that resets your hand. It resets your grip on your rifle. So you gotta scan that QR code or hit the link in the description. It'll take you right to that product right there. It'll take you right there. You click how many of these you want, which color types you want, and you are out the door. These are just like $20 or something.
Yeah, they're really cheap. It's
fairly-
great. It's a
fairly
great deal.
expensive.
Yeah, we'd love you to
really is.
scan that and support our sponsor, guys.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
Fantastic. All right, well, I'm at the end of my list here of what we
Yeah.
wanted to discuss. Is there anything else that's on your mind, Josh? I mean, I know you're worried about World War III, which should be the top of mind. But there's really, I mean, what can you personally do, Josh, to stop World War III?
Well, I think, just being honest, Matt, like, I think this is a prayerful moment for the country.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, people should be praying. I don't know what else to do. Like, we do seem like we are on the path of fate here towards something. That's never been bigger than God. God can stop that. God has control of all of this stuff. But I would be prayerful about like where this is headed. Everybody's feeling pretty good about, where the election, and obviously not a big chunk of the country. They think Hitler got elected, and they'll eventually learn that after another 4 years, that's not true. He didn't do it the first time. He's not going to do it again. So yeah, Tiny Loves Boston says, praying right now. Thank you, Tiny.
Yeah.
And then Estelle, amen, Josh, pray and prepare if you are able to. Guys, prepare if you're able to. You really should, I think. And then also stay with us. We're stay on our channels, okay? Rumble's the big one. This will be hit by YouTube for sure. We're gonna set up a new YouTube channel and try that. Let them play whack-a-mole. Please go over and subscribe and follow is what they call it on Rumble. But follow us. If you scan this QR code, it'll take you over there where you can click to follow. We'd love you to do that. Also, our X account is blowing up. We have really breaking news over on the X account. The main website, worldnetdaily.com. Go over there and read the articles. Support us by going to the website on your phone or on your desktop. And then, Matt, I had this idea. I was going to go out on this. We retweeted this. Jack Basovic put this up over the weekend. He went to a Creed concert. You remember Creed, Matt?
Creed. Oh, yeah. Take Me Higher. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Can
They
Take Me Higher?
they had a lot of songs, but for whatever reason, this one kind of hit with this overall feeling that we kind of have right now, like in America, not the fear stuff that we've been talking about today, but that there's just like, there's so much potential. And because this country is free, and I would add that because we're at one point a godly country. But I'll play that on the way out here and let everybody watch it.
Then we'll see everybody on Wednesday, and we'll let Creed take us out. God bless everybody.
All right. I'm just gonna have to share it. And then I'll take myself out here after I share it. That way you don't have to stare at our faces as we go here, huh?
It's that lingering at the door. When you say goodbye and then you're walking in the same direction. You're like, oh, I guess we're going to the same.
My sacrifice.